I want to expand on the state again and how everything is your state. The reflection that you see is a delayed reflection of your current state. If you are always in a state of doubt, or if your dominant state, most of the time you are doubting, then most of the reflection that you get back, the reflection that you will see a week from now, will be a reflection of doubt. If you are in a state of conviction, in a state of confidence, then most of what you will get back, most of the reflection that you will see, will be a reflection that will give you more confidence in yourself. Your state is everything. And so what comes from your state is your thoughts. So your state is going to come first. And then you will receive thoughts to match that state. So let's go back to the state of doubt. If you are currently in a state of doubt, and we could go back to the previous video where I talked about how I love predicting outcomes of sporting events. If I'm coming from a state of doubt, the thoughts that I am going to receive are going to be thoughts that match my state of doubt. And so they could be the same thoughts that if I was coming from a state of confidence and conviction yesterday, and let's say I had an idea. Yesterday I was in a completely different state and I was confident and, I was just feeling on top of the world like you do sometimes, right? You're in a good, they call it what? Good mojo. Or you've got good vibes going and you just feel like everything's clicking. And you're just confident in everything you do. And, if you've predicted sports outcomes before, which most people just call sports betting, and you're just like, I'm on fire and you can't lose. It kind of feeds off itself and you're just confident for a time. And so you're getting these thoughts that come in to do certain things, but the thoughts that are coming in are thoughts that are matching your current state. So I could get an idea today that will take me to match this state. Let's just say, look at the last couple times these two teams played and just ride that wave. Whatever happened the last couple times these two teams played, take that today. And I take that and it works. Because I was in a state of confidence. But tomorrow, I could be like, wow, I've won so many times in a row, like I talked about with my systems. eventually this run has to end, and that doubt seeps in. And I could get the same exact thought now. Go back and look at the last couple times these two teams played. But now I'm coming from a state of doubt. And so now that thought, the same thought, same exact thought, but it's conjured from it to match my current state, which is a state of doubt. Yesterday it was a state of confidence and conviction. Now it's a state of doubt. So now I'm going to lose. It's taking me to the same exact idea, but it's a different state. And so it doesn't happen this fast. We know that. But the point is that your thoughts, which I talked about the other day, we don't know where our thoughts come from. But what we do know is that your thoughts, the thoughts that you receive, are thoughts that are going to match your current energy, your current state. And so that's why your state is so important. Ignore what's happening in your current 3D reality, because that's going to change. But it can change to more of the same if you stay in that same state that you've always been in, because you're looking at this and saying this is what's real, and then allowing your 3D to lead you like we always have, like we were taught to. Look at what's happening here and then react to it. If you look at what's happening on the exterior and you react to that, you're allowing the 3D to control your state. And so if you're allowing your current reality to control your state, then you are in effect allowing what you're seeing now to bring you more thoughts of what you're seeing. This will change, but it's going to change to more of the same of what you've been getting. So you have to be the catalyst. You have to be the change. You have to stand up inside yourself and say, shh, I'm in charge now. Everything starts with me. I no longer care what I'm seeing here, because I know without a doubt that if I change my state and I stick to my guns and I know who I am over and over and over and over again, and don't worry about how much time it's going to take. That has to be irrelevant, which comes with knowing. When you know, you don't worry about how or when. You just know that as long as you continue to stay in that state, the state of knowing that I am whatever I say I am that now. I just have to continue to know that this will fade, and what I know I am will begin to materialize. It's just a delayed reflection. And the thoughts, it's like if you've ever changed a water filter. When you change the filter, you have to get rid of that old water. You have to run that water line. I think it's like 12 gallons of water where you just have to, I fill water bottles and dump it out and fill water bottles and dump it out. So you're still going to have that filter, that old filter, even though we changed it here right now and said, I know who I am. You have to keep knowing who you are and just start following those thoughts. And even though those thoughts are going to take you to more of the same initially, as soon as you fill enough of those gallons of water and dumping them out, eventually that new water filter is going to kick in. And the thoughts that you get, even though they seem like the same exact thoughts that you've been getting, the timing will be different. Like I just talked about in the beginning of the video, because you're coming from a new state. Now, once that new water filter kicks in and I get the thought, go back and look at the last couple times these teams played and follow that trend, I will know that because I've been coming from a state of conviction and confidence and knowing that these thoughts that I'm getting are going to play out the way I want it to play out now. And that is how it works. The state has to be the catalyst. It all starts with your state, and once it becomes your dominant state, the 3D has no choice but to follow that.